It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. Your mind is racing. You check your phone, hoping the time will surprise you. It doesn't, and a thought creeps in that you probably had before. Something is wrong with you. But here's the strange part. For most of human history, this exact moment, wide awake in the middle of the night, wasn't a malfunction. It was a plan. You've been taught that sleep is supposed to be one long, unbroken block. 8 hours, lights off, eyes closed, done. Anything less feels like failure. But your ancestors didn't sleep like that. Not even close. Historian Roger Kirch spent over a decade digging through old court records, diaries, and medical texts from before the industrial age. He found something odd. Hundreds of documents casually mentioned first sleep and second sleep, as if everyone already knew what that meant. People would sleep for a few hours after dark, then wake up, not panicked, not anxious, just awake. This waking period had a name. The watch. It could last 1 hour, sometimes 2, and people used it. They prayed. They talked quietly with a partner. They tended the fire. Some visited neighbors. Some simply lay there, thinking, in a state researchers now describe as calm, meditative wakefulness. Then, eventually, they drifted into a second sleep that carried them to morning. 2 sleeps, 1 night, and nobody thought it was broken. So a change. Why do you now treat that same nighttime waking as a crisis? The answer isn't really about sleep. It's about light. Before artificial lighting, night was long, really long. In winter, darkness could stretch for 14 hours. No human body, then or now, is built to lie unconscious for 14 straight hours. So it split the difference. Sleep, then a window of rest, then sleep again. It was a rhythm shaped by the length of the dark, not by a clock. Then came gas lamps. Then electric light. Suddenly night could be pushed back, shortened, controlled. Bedtimes got later. The window for sleep shrank. And that gentle midnight watch, the one your ancestors expected and even valued, got squeezed out entirely. What used to be normal became something to medicate. Here's where it gets stranger. Some researchers wondered if this pattern was really universal or just a European habit recorded in old diaries. So neuroscientist Jerome Siegel and his team went looking for modern groups still living without electricity. They studied the Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, and the Tsaimane in Bolivia. Communities with no electric lights, no screens, no artificial schedules at all. What they found surprised almost everyone. These groups didn't sleep in 2 neat chunks like the old European diaries described. Mostly, they slept in a single stretch, but they went to bed hours after sunset and woke before sunrise, sleeping a bit less than the 8 hours doctors often recommend today. And critically, almost none of them reported insomnia. The condition barely seemed to exist. Something else stood out. Body temperature, not a clock or an alarm, seemed to govern when they fell asleep and woke up. Sleep tracked the cooling of the night air far more closely than it tracked any fixed schedule. So 2 very different pictures emerge. One, from old written records, showing a segmented sleep pattern split by an active nighttime watch. The other, from living communities today, showing a single consolidated sleep. What connects them isn't the exact pattern. It's the absence of a fixed, artificial demand placed on the body. Nobody was telling these people when they had to fall asleep. Nobody was punishing them for lying awake. The night simply unfolded, and the body responded to darkness, temperature, and tiredness, not to guilt. Compare that to you, lying there at 3 a.m., doing math. If I fall asleep in the next 10 minutes, I get 5 hours. If not, 4.5. You're not resting anymore. You're performing a task and failing at it, and the failure itself keeps you awake. Anthropologist Carol Worthman has spent years studying sleep across different cultures, and one of her central findings cuts right to this. Sleep is not a fixed biological constant. It's shaped by environment, by social expectation, by what a culture believes sleep is supposed to look like. The Western idea of one unbroken block, timed to the minute, isn't hardwired into your brain. It's a relatively recent invention and a fairly rigid one, which means that nighttime waking you dread so much might not be a symptom at all. It might be an old default your body still remembers, colliding with a modern rule it never agreed to. Think about what actually happens when you wake at 3 a.m. now. The first thing most people do is reach for a phone. Blue light floods the eyes. Notifications appear. Suddenly your calm, half-asleep brain is processing emails, news, other people's opinions. At the exact moment, it was designed to be doing almost nothing. Ancient humans in their watch had darkness, quiet, maybe firelight, maybe a familiar voice nearby. You have a glowing rectangle demanding your full attention. No wonder falling back asleep feels so much harder now. There's a modern mirror here that's easy to miss. You've been told that struggle at night means something is broken in you, but the deeper pattern suggests something else. It's not that your body is malfunctioning. It's that your environment stopped matching what your body expects. 14 hours of true darkness became 8 hours of dim light and a screen. A flexible window for rest became a rigid 8-hour deadline with a failing grade attached. The watch disappeared, but the waking never did. Only now, there's nothing to do during it except worry. So what would it look like to actually work with that old rhythm instead of fighting it? Some sleep researchers now gently suggest something almost radical in its simplicity. If you wake in the night, don't reach for the phone. Don't check the time. Don't start the anxious math. Let the mind sit in the dark for a while. Kirch himself has pointed out that this quiet nighttime wakefulness used to be so unremarkable that people barely wrote about it as an event at all. It was just part of the night, the same way breathing is part of being alive. That doesn't mean insomnia isn't real, or that everyone lying awake at 3 a.m. is secretly fine. Chronic sleep problems deserve real attention. And if this is affecting your health or your days, it's worth talking to a doctor. But for the ordinary, occasional waking, the kind almost everyone experiences sometimes, the shame attached to it might be the newest part of the whole equation. Older than electricity, older than clocks, possibly older than agriculture itself. Your body might simply be doing what it has always done in a world that forgot it was ever normal. So tonight, when the sun goes down, you'll probably still flip a switch and push the darkness back the way humans have been doing for less than 2 centuries. And if you wake up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, maybe the question isn't what's wrong with you. Maybe it's just a watch, still waiting to be kept.